بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين وعجل فرجهم الشريف. قال تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا من يرتد منكم عن دينه فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبونه أذلة على المؤمنين أعزة على الكافرين يجاهدون في سبيل الله ولا يخافون لومة لائم ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله واسع عليم. سورة المائدة الآية 54. وقال في آية أخرى: فإن يكفر بها هؤلاء فقد وكلن بها قوما ليسوا بها بكافرين. جاء عن الطبرسي قيل هم أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام وأصحابه حين قاتل من قاتل من الناكثين والقاسطين والمارقين. قال: وروي ذلك عن عمار وحذيفة وابن عباس. وعنه عن علي عليه السلام قال يوم البصرة: والله ما قوتل أهل هذه الآية حتى اليوم، وتلا هذه الآية. وفي نهج البيان المروي عن الباقر والصادق عليهما السلام أن هذه الآية نزلت في علي عليه السلام. وجاء عن علي بن إبراهيم القمي في تفسيره: هو مخاطبة لأصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله الذين غصبوا حق آل محمد صلوات الله عليهم أجمعين وارتدوا عن دين الله فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبونه. والآية نزلت كذلك في القائم وأصحابه يجاهدون في سبيل الله لا يخافون لومة لائم. وجاء عن الثعلبي في تفسير الآية: فسوف يأتي الله بقوم يحبهم ويحبونه. الآية قال نزلت في علي عليه السلام. ثم تلا قوله تعالى: إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون.
I asked about the Shia. I was like, who are the Shia? Don't worry about them. Just avoid them. Da da da. You know, it's in their Aqidah to lie. You know, they do taqi all the time. And I was like, whatever, fine. So I left the Shia thing alone.
And we received a sheikh from Sudan. His English skills were limited, but when he moved to the Virgin Islands, he noticed that minority of Shias in the community. And one of the first speeches that he gave was a speech rather critical of Tashayyo and of followers of Ahl Bayt al-Rasul. So, me being a new convert and me not knowing the difference between Sunni or Shia, when I heard this speech of his, well, it became imperative to me that I should know who are the Shias also, because if they are disbelievers, and if they are as dangerous as the Sheikh is saying that they are, then I should know about them, and I should be on my guard and be wary of them. So I started trying to learn more about Shias after hearing that how dangerous and how kafir and how bad they were. So I wanted to learn more.
They're a Shia family from Middle East, and the knowledge which they provided me, and also not just the knowledge, but also the attitude and the way in which they invited me towards the Ahlul Bayt. Many of my Sunni brothers, unfortunately, the way they would try to bring me towards their way of thinking would be to kind of highlight negative points about Shiaism, whether the Shia brothers and sisters would actually one thing which I'll say, my cousin in Woking, who actually helped me to revert, the first thing he said to me is, whatever you want to do, however you want to pray, and whatever belief, whatever books you want to read is entirely up to you. He didn't mind whether I became Sunni or anything. It wouldn't affect our relationship at all, and he would actually be happy for me if I became Sunni. And this in particular is what made me think, well, if this is the attitude which I'm being told by the Shia brothers of mine, then perhaps Shiaism has a very good way of thinking which I like.
عقيدتنا نحن أهل السنة والجماعة ألا ندس أنوفنا فيما شجر بين أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أبدا. لا نقول فعل معاوية، فعل علي، علي أفضل من معاوية، معاوية أفضل من علي، عمرو بن العاص، أبو موسى الأشعري. لا نتكلم في واحد منهم أبدا، وإنما نترك ما شجر بين أصحاب النبي إلى ربهم سبحانه وتعالى، مع إيماننا بأنهم أفضل القرون بإطلاق، أفضل القرون بإطلاق، ثم ندع ما حدث أو ما شجر بينهم لله عز وجل، هو الذي يحكم بينهم.
نعم. الله أكبر، هذا ختام رائع وجميل.
فما موقف أهل السنة من الكتب التي فيها ذكر ما شجر بين الصحابة وقتالهم رضي الله عنهم؟ قال الذهبي رحمه الله في سير أعلام النبلاء: تقرر الكف عن كثير مما شجر بين الصحابة وقتالهم رضي الله عنهم أجمعين، وما زال يمر بنا ذلك في الدواوين والكتب والأجزاء، ولكن أكثر ذلك منقطع وضعيف وبعضه كذب، وهذا فيما بأيدينا وبين علمائنا، فينبغي طيه وإخفاؤه، لا إذاعته وبثه ونشره. قال فينبغي طيه وإخفاؤه بل إعدامه.
This is the Sunni Sheikh of the masjid. He told me, brother, Islamic history is a black and bloody history, and it has no relevance to us today. Don't read it. Being a person who had studied the writings of Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey is like a prophet to Rastafarians. Marcus Garvey has a famous saying where he says, a people without knowledge of their history is like a tree without roots. So when this Sunni Sheikh is going to tell me that Islamic history is irrelevant, has no relevance, it's black and it's bloody, don't study it, an alarm bell went off in my mind. I felt that he was trying to keep me away from something. And so this pushed me in the direction to study more.
الله تبارك وتعالى أعطانا قدرة الفهم في العقيدة في كثير من المسائل.
I'm so sorry that you died the way that you did. I'm so sorry for your family. I'm so sorry for your children, and I'm sorry that I wasn't there. I'm ashamed of your betrayal, and I'm grateful for your sacrifice. And knowing you has really changed my life. And one day, inshallah, in Jannah, I will have an opportunity to meet you and tell you in person. I'm so grateful to you that I'm here. I have many things in my life that I need help with. And thank you for helping me to have a closer relationship with God through your life and the sacrifice and example of your life. And I look forward to the opportunity to introduce you to people. Please help me to stay strong in the jihad that I have for my life to help others, to be patient, not to take insult when I'm betrayed, to have better understanding for humanity, helping me use my life to make an example of my life.
For those that don't know me, there was a time not very long ago that I would have seen all of you as my enemy. For as much as I heard about Karbala the last 2 nights, about 13 years ago, I too was dreaming of Karbala as I was marching toward it with a rifle. You see, I was an American soldier, and in 2003, I took part in the invasion of Iraq. And I was told that all of you hated people like me because we let women vote, and we had TV, and we were free and happy. And in 4 tours overseas, the more I experienced, the more I learned that that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. And the truth is, people just don't like their doors being kicked open at 3 o'clock in the morning. 10 years ago would have been no different than that. 3 years ago, I was sitting in prison. My 4th tour overseas was my 3rd trip to Afghanistan, working for a little company some of you probably have heard of, Blackwater. And that was the first time in my entire life that I actually had to face sobriety. And sobriety brings clarity. And I finally began to learn to understand Islam, not to fight Islam. But the only thing I knew about Shia was that you were all a kuffar. You see, I became Muslim in a Salafi Jamaat, where me trimming my beard was guilty of shirk, and the Shia prayed to Ali, and that's all I knew. But the more I learned about Salafism, the more I learned that I really didn't know anything at all. And when I told my sheikh that I wanted to ask Shias about Shias, I was told, don't talk to them because they'll lie to you. And it made me think of when I talked to my pastor about asking Muslims about Muslims. And he said, don't talk to them, they'll lie to you. And I can tell you this, I don't know a lot about this religion. Every day I'm learning more. But I know that I have a family now, because the truth is, if you want to lose your friends, tell them you've become a Muslim. If you want to gain some enemies, tell your Muslim friends that you become Shia. But alhamdulillah, I've made hijrah from Louisiana to Michigan, and I now have people that I can call brothers and sisters in this faith, and people that have genuinely made me feel at home and welcome, and I thank you all for that.